Our next presentation is like an architect coming back to the board with some examples of what the exterior of the Lakeshore campus could look like.
And again, for the board, this is, we're not going to take any action on this, it's just further review based upon the board's request.
And that's who's going to join us. And
Good to see you all again.
I hope you're back there.
No, I think we're fine. Last week, the board and a small group of us had an opportunity to meet to talk a little bit about the design of the Lakeshore Campus building, and required us developing some alternate options for the exterior building envelope, the aesthetic of the building basically, and it was very, very helpful. I appreciate your time doing that for us. They had an opportunity to talk about the things they really liked and some things they want us to look at again for consideration. So that's basically what we're coming back here tonight to do. So we'll take a look at what the current design is right now, to kind of refresh your memory and to talk about some of the items that they wanted us to relook at again. And then develop 3 different options, very diverse. We got some differing opinions last week, so we wanted to explore all kinds of options from a little bit more traditional end all the way to something that's very, very modern, and then one that's kind of in between. So please interrupt me if you have any questions as we go along the line. This is what we started out with the initial design that we currently have. The goal was obviously to create a campus feel to the overall existing buildings, both in terms of material use and aesthetic use of the fenestration and the materials. And you can see this really nicely on the north elevation here, where we're kind of mimicking the scale and the materials of the old building, which is probably the nicest building there at 33 North Tennessee. The board last week kind of said, that's not so important. If you want to do something a little different, that's great. The globe building may not be there forever. It's not the greatest architectural piece out there. So, if you want to do something a little bit different that kind of allows the building to express itself in its own way, that they were fine with that. Also, the expression of the way that we dealt with the windows, or fenestration as we call it, as architects call it, was a little bit irregular, and you'll see it a little bit better in the later rendering of it. Kind of a random interpretation based on the needs of the interior function of the building. We placed the window openings, and it was felt, it'd be kind of nice if that was a little bit more regular and in keeping. And then also the materials. It was felt it was not that important that we maintain that kind of look of the campus feel. So exploration of potentially different materials that could, be contextual to a certain extent with the other buildings in downtown Waukegan, but still allow the building to be its own kind of expression. So, like I mentioned, we developed basically 3 options out of that. The first one is what I would call kind of a modern interpretation of a traditional piece of architecture. Architecture 100 years ago, or actually for a millennium, was kind of this tripart division of a building where you start out with, basically the base, which kind of holds up the building, the middle where all the business takes place with, continuous floors that are very similar, and then a top with, usually an entablature or a cornice in classical times, and this is kind of our modern interpretation of that entablature on top. The materials that we're proposing here are very timeless and traditional. We're looking at a base and the wrapping of the entablature as you would in traditional architecture, of something either cast stone or real stone, like Indiana limestone. You see that is quite prevalent in downtown Waukegan. But in the middle area, we're thinking of doing kind of a face brick that is quite common in downtown Waukegan, with a different color, either a reddish brown or just a plain red color. To again use a little bit more traditional materials. The one thing that the board really liked in the initial design was to really open up the building facing east, and we have obviously maintained this on this and all the other schemes, is to open it up with complete glass on the east side to get tremendous views of the light. So that is one that we call the tradition scheme, or option, I should say. The next one's going to the other extreme, which is very modern, classy, and very expressive in that manner. The idea was to kind of create this enclosure that is, again, done out of the limestone. What you don't see is the south elevation and the west elevation. Those walls would be done entirely in that material with a regular array of window openings on those sides. But then on your primary views, where you can really take an opportunity, the other view is looking into your parking garage except for the top floor. And the other views, a great opportunity to get just an expansive view of the lake. So we really want to take advantage of that. We're taking the limestone up and over the top to create this frame that kind of frames what happens in the middle. And then the glass is treated differently between what we would call more the public areas of the building, which we consider kind of the first floor where student services is, and the top where we've got this great community room with the terrace. And then the middle area is predominantly the classrooms and the library functions that take place. So, we would deal with this in a very clean manner. But then we see a real opportunity here in the middle part to play with potentially even colored glass and slight reflectivity. We are by the lake, so we see a great opportunity to kind of reflect what we see when you look at water. Water takes on a different experience depending upon what the weather is like. If the sun is hitting it, you'll get different reflections and different colors of blue and green. And when we get a fog, it's much more muted and gray. So we want to explore that with the fenestration here because I think obviously it's appropriate, it's next to the lake. Plus the building then takes on varying tones based on the climate. So it's an ever-changing sort of building, which I think is something that's kind of nice. It's new every time you see it. So that's option number 2. And then the final option, again, kind of plays off the fact that we're by the lake and kind of that nautical scheme. We want to create this sense of movement, like you see on the ships on the lake, kind of moving along and also kind of directing your eye toward the lake by creating this kind of prow with the building by canting the east wall. So I can imagine when you come down Sheridan Road that not only will you see this very strong prow on the top of the building, but you'll see this mass of the building kind of tilting out and moving toward the lake, so it directs your eye toward the lake and really draws attention to the building and gives it a very signature sort of look. So basically those are the 3 options, and I'll open up any discussions or questions I have. I also brought the originals and I have to say that as a matter of
Question. What kind of cost difference is there among the 3 based on the materials used?
This is always a process in doing it. Since most of the materials are on, and we did have a fairly good budget initially for the materials we had. Obviously glass is more expensive than not glass. But by the same token, I think that if we work through the budget properly, that I think we can achieve any one of these options without obviously going over the budget that we stated.
Second question about the glass. How does that affect the leads equivalent in the building, and what about energy efficiency? And I'm thinking of things like Thompson Center downtown where they've had nothing but problems with all that glass.
Very good question. And even though you have glass expression, the whole building's not going to be glass. So some of these areas are what we call spandrel glass, where even though it is glass, it's an opaque glass, and behind it you'll have a fully insulated wall that will give you the thermal rating that you would need for to achieve lead rating. The other advantage of this is the majority of the glass that we have here is facing north, which is ideal because you don't get the direct sunlight, you get diffuse light, which is absolutely wonderful for daylight. So in that respect, certainly we can achieve whatever the target for lead certification. Good questions? Yes.
What are those looking
Literally scraps.
Those are, and I'm glad you asked that because even though in the last meeting, the board said, it's not that important to relate to the wall building, I still felt it was kind of nice if we could. So we were playing with the mullion patterns to kind of play off the pure expressions that you have on the below building right now. So, it's kind of a modern, subtle, kind of reflection of the building next door that, at any time in the future, if the below building goes away, I think the building is certainly being on its own without saying, oh, geez, what happened here? It looks like it's only part of the building. It still can stand on its own, but yes, I think it's still very respectful to what's going on here. Plus, again, with fins coming out, when the sun hits it, depending upon the time of day, it'll create different kinds of shadow effects on the side of the glass, which I think, again, kind of gives it character and changes throughout the day. So we wanted to give a little bit of depth to the facade so it wasn't just a straight glass curtain wall.
Will there be some kind of pronounced entrance? Is that where those 3 trees are?
Yeah, and, you know, we were gonna do another,
I know you just had a minute to do this, so.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
so we
You've done
had
well.
5 days to do these nice
You've done
renderings,
well.
and I had great help doing it, by the way, it wasn't just me doing it. So, yes, there would be an expression of entry there. I think on one of them, you can see even here, you know, we have a covered entry coming out of the building.
Yeah, it shows it on the prowl.
Okay.
Right, exactly, and I
See it down there.
think we would do some sort of a expression, Catherine, on each one of these to really define that. And, you know, obviously you need protection from wonderful winters that we have around here by the lake.
Well, you've certainly listened to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the board input. They're warmer. We talked about them wanting them to be warmer, sort of mix the traditional of Waukegan, the beauty of those old buildings with this notion of modern. So I should really appreciate that. I know you've had very little time to do that, so I appreciate that.
That's the fun part of our profession.
We'll keep mixing it up then. Sounds like.
Any thoughts or comments from the board at this time?
I kind of think that's an interesting looking building.
The third one? Yeah. Yeah, it's
Especially
usually warm.
going out, looking at the lake, and the combination of the brick and the glass, you don't have too much of either one. The traditional one reminds me of an old downtown school building,
Right.
and it's a little bit too much brick.
When we were discussing in the office, we were trying to decide which one we liked, and he said, you know, we're not going to present anything we can't live with, so every one of these we feel pretty comfortable with.
So we're going to continue to have some discussions around this item. I know in August, when we come back, we're going to be given a report on usage at all 3 campuses. We'll probably have some more discussions around building choices. But again, we wanted the board to be able to see some options. Really appreciate Ted and Legat and all the good work that they did to hear the board's feedback and then to come up with these options as quickly as they did. So I just want to say thanks.
And we should know more about our financial climate at that time too. as well.
I'll say, where is this project based on all the stuff that's happening in the state? How far behind are we now?
We are still listed in the budgets that have been presented. This project is still there, but we're going to continue to have discussions.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank
Yeah.
you.